Hello everybody and welcome to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the NASCAR Cup Series debut in Mexico City. A much anticipated race on the schedule, especially after the banger of a race we had in the Xfinity Series simulation yesterday with Eckes picking up the win. Today's race, Shane Van Gisbergen, the heavy favorite, leads us to green alongside the former road course king of Chase Elliott, and we are underway here in Mexico City. Who is going to be on the top step of the podium after this race? We're going to find out as Chase Elliott SVG thunder down into turns 1 and 2 for the first time, as these corners were Calamity Corner in the Xfinity race. Will we see the same thing here in the Cup race? And indeed we will. There's already cars spinning and piling up in turn 1 and 2. A massive collision, and more trouble. There goes Kyle Busch around. Tyler Reddick involved. Suarez got into the wall. At first it starts though when Kyle Larson gets tagged by McDowell. Larson goes for a slide through the grass up into the wall over there. Issues for Kyle Larson in the 5, but he's able to get back going and avoid causing an incident. And then behind us, right here, Hocevar sends it 4 wide, gets Kyle Busch turned across the nose of Christopher Bell, collecting Tyler Reddick in a chaotic start to this race. And then even further back right as we went through the middle of turn 1, Justin Haley just tags Denny Hamlin, who gets slammed by Riley Herbst. Brad Keselowski also gets turned around in the melee. An absolute mayhem to kick us off here in Mexico City. The caution, though, has not been thrown for these incidents, surprisingly, as SVG leads the field from pole position. The following lap, Ty Gibbs gets turned hard, nearly a head-on hit into that concrete wall on the right side, and that is actually what brings out our first caution of the day for Ty Gibbs, getting turned by William Byron. And so SVG others pit. Riley Herbst, the only car out of the race. He will finish in 37th, last place. That's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Bubba Wallace on strategy lead us to the green flag. The one of Ross Chastain's already trying to send it 3 wide into turn 1. He thinks better of it, backs out, but Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to the lead, and around goes the 3 and the 1. There goes Dillon and Chastain around. Once again, turn 1 and turn 2 prove costly. Elliott gets into the back, Austin Dillon, and just tags Chastain. And more cars going around here. Got more cars stacked up, spun around further back. Hamlin jumps Keselowski wide, and around goes Joey Logano. The 22 gets clipped by Eric Jones on exit of turn 2. Into the wall goes Logano. Ty Dillon slow as well. And just a chaotic start to this race here in Mexico City. Cars crashing left and right. No clue what is going on here. As meanwhile, back to front, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47, leading his first laps on a road course in a very long time. Mexico City in the 48 goes for a slide on exit of 2. Bowman into the wall there. A little bit of a mistake there from the 48, going to cost him some track position here. Stenhouse continues to lead on lap 10, though. Here comes the 9 of Chase Elliott applying pressure on the back of Stenhouse to the lead. Elliott really fast. Elliott sends it to the outside, and what a move. Chase Elliott to the lead here in Mexico City. The 9 drives right past Ricky Stenhouse with ease, showing he's still got the skills to pay the bills here at the road courses for Chase Elliott. He's going to hold off Stenhouse, who's still hard charging him here into turn 3. Elliott going to clear the 47, and Chase Elliott now your new leader here in Mexico City, thinking well on his way to a stage win here on lap 20. 10 to go on the stage. Elliott goes a little bit wide, misses his line through the corner, looking to lap Logano and Haley. Now he has to deal with, of course, the 6 of Brad Keselowski, our 2012 Series champion, side by side through the portion. Of course, Keselowski puts Elliott in the wall. Your leader gets taken out by a lap car. In the final corner here in Mexico City, Chase Elliott gets wrecked by Brad Keselowski. The 6 is done for the day for sure. Chase Elliott is probably done for the day. He's got heavy damage, and it's going really, really slow here, trying to just make it back to the caution flag as Catherine Legg goes flying by the 9. And Chase Elliott is in big, big trouble here. He looked like he was one of the fastest cars out there. Now his car is destroyed, and here comes the 17 of Chris Buescher in second. He's going to fly right on by to cycle out to be the leader. And indeed, Chase Elliott will be out of this race. He will finish in 35th. Extremely disappointing considering the speed he was showing, considering he was leading when he gets taken out by Keselowski. And now that puts, once again, Ricky Stenhouse in the lead on the restart over Chase Briscoe. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. continuing to have an impressive day, but now he gets passed right away and exited turn 2 there by the 19 of Chase Briscoe, who will lead for the first time today in his number 19. Pass Porsche Toyota. I think the 48 got spun around there at the back. Bowman saw him go for a slide. He'll go around. No caution. We stay green. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is in the lead once again here in Mexico City. Now, a few laps later, Zane Smith puts Tyler Reddick into the wall. The same thing that happened to Keselowski and Chase Elliott. Zane Smith takes himself out with a hard head-on hit into that concrete wall, collects Tyler Reddick. Cody Ware gets a piece of it at the back end. Byron just slid into the wall. Absolute Mexico mayhem here. Absolute chaos in this Mexico City race. Caution is out, so now we're going to have another restart here on lap 26. 5 to go in the stage. Chase Briscoe easily going to clear Ricky Stenhouse here on the restart. He's got Chris Buescher right there in line behind them with Austin Cindric and Josh Berry. But Briscoe will now clear Stenhouse for the second restart in a row, yet the last time Briscoe lost the lead. Can he hold on to it this time as we go through Calamity Corners, turns 1 and 2 here? Anyone goes around, there's a car sliding into the wall. It's John Hunter Nemechek, checking around goes Kyle Busch. The 8 around Busch elects Priest as Nemechek just lost control and exited turn 2 like many drivers before him. And then in the melee, Kyle Busch and Ryan Priest gets sent around to the outside wall. Cole Custer plows to the back of the 8. Eric Jones slams into Cole Custer. And that's going to be the end of the day for the 43. Eric Jones going to be out of this one with that heavy damage from running into the back of Cole Custer. Meanwhile, 3, nearly 4 wide back here with Byron, Gilliland, and Hocevar. 3 wide, not supposed to work here in these tight confines at Mexico City. But alas, here we are, some 3 wide racing about in the mid-pack portion of the field here. William Byron is 1 lap down at the moment as Chase Briscoe leads the way. The caution came out, so we're going to be back underway here in this restart. Now just 2 to go in stage 1. This time the 17 of Chris Buescher gets the phenomenal restart. And Buescher, who we know is a phenomenal road racer, is going to clear Chase Briscoe for the race lead. Buescher now in control here with 2 to go in stage 1 here in Mexico City. He looks like he should be well on his way to a stage win. A little bit of contact right there. Bowman, AJ Allmendinger going 3 wide. SVG trying to work his way through the pack after pitting a few cautions ago. And here we go. Chris Buescher going to win stage 1 here at Mexico City, followed by Chase Briscoe, AJ Allmendinger, Kyle Larson, and Michael McDowell, the top 5. Then SVG, Bowman, Suarez. How about Todd Gilliland and Josh Berry snagging stage points? So stage 1 goes to Chris Buescher and RFK Racing here in Mexico City. Thanks to the late restart he was able to get, Buescher picks up his first stage win of 2025. And now back underway here to begin stage 2 on lap 33. It is the 88 of Shane Van Gisbergen, your pole sitter, with a brilliant restart on the outside lane. Going to clear Chris Buescher, and SVG now in control for the first time, or probably actually for the second time today. Here this time, the first time early in stage 2, Van Gisbergen leads the way. Here in Mexico City as SVG tries to lock himself into the playoffs with a much needed win with how much he has been struggling this season. Now a few laps later, Josh Berry and Logano are going to cycle out to be the leaders here as SVG pitted. But for some reason, if you look behind us, SVG has got some significant damage on the hood of his race car, and he's going slower than he was before as he had dominated the stage. SVG is going to come down pit road, and they're not going to be able to fix that car. SVG, the favorite here in Mexico City, is out of this race with some damage caught in the middle of the pit cycle. Unbelievable. So then Josh Berry pits from the lead, handing it over to Joey Logano in the 22, who then makes his way down pit road as this pit cycle continues to cycle through. Now Noah Gragson in the 4 gets the lead. Bubba Wallace in second also comes down pit road the ensuing lap, and now that will cycle the lead back to the 19 of Chase Briscoe once again here today. Then Briscoe pits, and now Michael McDowell in the 71 for Spire Motorsports going to be the leader here, but not for much longer. Here comes his teammate, the second-year driver of Carson Hocevar in the 77, trying to make up for the heartbreak at Michigan, the heartbreak in Charlotte, and the second-place run in Nashville. Hocevar trying to make up for that now and get a big-time stage win here in Mexico City as he leads the way with just 4 to go in stage 2. Hocevar leads Michael McDowell. Now here we are on the last lap of the stage. He is going to bring home his first stage win of the season. Carson Hocevar for Spire Motorsports is going to win stage 2 here in Mexico City. His teammate McDowell follows him through to second. Chris Buescher is third. How about the hometown hero Daniel Suarez in fourth? And here comes the 34 of Todd Gilliland a little ways back, making his way through round of the top 5, having a very impressive run here today. Is that 34 team. Very impressed by Todd Gilliland having a solid day. Going to bring it home with stage points in both stages for Front Row Motorsports. Same thing for Josh Berry. You really don't think of the 21 as a road course racer, but here he is picking up stage points once again here, coming home 6th in stage 2. Right behind him, you got, of course, 3-time champion Joey Logano coming through in 7th. Then the 4 of Noah Gragson makes his way through in 8th. Gragson continuing to have a solid year for Front Row Motorsports. Seabell follows him through in 9th with no front or rear bumper. And Bubba Wallace snags himself a stage point here in Mexico City, but Buescher takes stage 1. Carson Hocevar takes stage 2 here in Mexico City. On to the 3rd and final stage of racing, where it is Buescher and Suarez on the front row as we are underway here with just 35 laps to go here in Mexico City. Daniel Suarez, his home track here in Mexico City, trying to win in his hometown would be an incredible celebration if he could pull it off, and he gets the lead away from Chris Buescher. Daniel Suarez to the lead here in Mexico City with just 35 to go. He leads for the first time today, and in the melee behind them, Todd Gilliland gets turned around, but we stay green. Ty Gibbs, Austin Dillon also go for a spin. Then Chase Briscoe, AJ Allmendinger go into the wall and exit to turn 3 here just to get together. Both slam the wall. So many cars have done that in both races this weekend. Just continues to show how treacherous this track is. Now we're nearly 4 wide back here with a couple of lap cars of Kyle Busch, Ty Dillon, John Hunter, and then of course a guy who should be contending for the win right now, the 71 of Michael McDowell, who is trying to charge his way through this pack, catch up to his teammate Hocevar, as well as the leaders of Suarez and Buescher. How about Daniel Suarez, the Monterrey, Mexico native, leading at his home racetrack as they make their final pit stops with just 26 laps to go, which will currently cycle the lead to Michael McDowell. Now a little bit later, the 71 makes his way to pit road here. 20 laps to go. McDowell makes his final scheduled pit stop, and that'll give the lead to his teammate, the 77 of Carson Hocevar, who then comes in the ensuing lap. So 20 to go. Hocevar is in, which means the lead should cycle out to the 99 of Daniel Suarez here, but Chris Buescher is hot on his tail. Buescher has just stayed right behind Suarez majority of this run, just putting enough pressure on him to try to pressure Suarez into a mistake here. Both of these guys a little ways below the cut line, need a win to make the playoffs. Same thing for McDowell, same thing for Hocevar. So we're likely to have a new winner, but here comes Chris Buescher, 17, a huge run on the back of Suarez down this long front straightaway thanks to Cody Ware. So now here we are, 19 laps to go. Buescher on the inside of Suarez for the lead. This could be the pass for the win. Can Chris Buescher get by the hometown hero Daniel Suarez through turns 1 and 2? And he does. Chris Buescher to the lead with 19 to go in Mexico City. He might just break the hearts of all the Mexican fans and Daniel Suarez at his home racetrack as he takes the lead away and is now driving away to victory number 1 for RFK Racing on the season. White flag final lap presented by Credit One Bank here at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the 17 of Chris Buescher. He won stage 1, 3rd in stage 2, and executed the pit cycle in the final stage to perfection. Made the pass on the hometown hero Daniel Suarez, and now just 2 more corners remain between Chris Buescher and Victory Lane and the inaugural NASCAR Cup Series Viva Mexico 250 here from Mexico City. And through the final sweeping left or right hand corner here, Chris Buescher comes down the front straightaway for the final time here at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, and Chris Buescher wins at Mexico City. He's going to the playoffs, and the hometown hero Daniel Suarez comes home heartbroken in 2nd place. Michael McDowell a strong run in 3rd, but not quite enough to pick up the victory. A little further back, you can see the 77 of Carson Hocevar, the 2nd-year driver. Once again, going to come up short here in a race where he led some laps, won a stage, but his time will come sooner rather than later. That 77 is going to be in victory lane, but Hocevar comes home with a solid 4th place finish here in Mexico City. And now Joey Logano making his way through as there's some contact behind him, but Logano is going to get just survive and find himself in the top 5 here after a chaotic race in Mexico City. Top 5 finish for Joey Logano here in Mexico. Christopher Bell comes through to finish in 6th place. Here comes Josh Berry, the last car on the lead lap, in 7th. And Gragson, Gilliland, and Catherine Legg gets a top 10 finish here in Mexico City. But Chris Buescher, your winner, getting career win number 3, leading 25 of 100 laps. Here are your final race results. Buescher, as well as picking up the win, picks up the Xfinity fastest lap bonus point, the first for Buescher on the season, and he punches his ticket into the playoffs and gets RFK Racing in victory lane for the first time this season. Daniel Suarez, hometown hero, so close in second. Great day for Spire with a double top 5. You see the rest of the grid there. So impressive from Catherine Legg surviving and getting a top 10 finish. AJ Allmendinger, Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs had some issues throughout the day. That's why they're down where they are. Then, of course, William Byron DNF'd late in 22nd, as did Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, SVG, Larson, Reddick, Elliott, all these guys who were leading laps, heartbroken because of just some weird issues that they ran into during this race. And so here's the updated playoff grid with the ramifications of today's race at Mexico City. Buescher becomes our 8th driver to punch his ticket to the playoffs with a win, which moves the cut line up 1 position, which bumps Austin Cindric out as he now sits 12 points below Bubba Wallace for that final spot in the playoffs. Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Josh Berry, all right there on top of that bubble as well. Allmendinger, Hamlin, decent cushions, but nowhere near safe. Briscoe, Logano feeling pretty comfortable at the moment with their gaps. And the other guys right there below the cut line, you got Gregson, Preece, and Stenhouse, as well as Blaney on the outside looking in. So until next episode, we'll be racing from Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, the final race of the in-season tournament qualifying session. That should be a good one. And as we end this episode, as always, I want to give a shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much to DWR, JJ, Brenda Brian, and Jeremy Isley. Really appreciate your guys' support. Means a lot to me. Helps this channel and I continue to grow, produce some awesome content now on our road towards 2,000 subscribers. So those of you that are watching this video and are not subscribed, please do subscribe. It's completely free. It only takes a couple of seconds, and I would really, really appreciate it. And also, if you want to become a paid channel member, get your shout out right here in the video like these 4. Link for that is in the description down below. And until next time, where we will be in the Tricky Triangle in Pocono, I hope you all have a good one.